Get ready for a wild ride through some of the most jaw-dropping and cunning prison escapes in history, where audacity meets ingenuity. Number 1. Sarpoza Prison Escape, 2011. Talk about an underground movement. Nearly 500 Taliban members turned escape artists in a brazen breakout from Sarpoza Prison in Kandahar. Their canvas? A 1,180-foot tunnel, no less. For 5 months, these guys played moles, digging a path to freedom right under the noses of their captors. They even threw in some home comforts, electric lights and fans for ventilation, because who says you can't escape in style? The operation was something like out of a heist movie. They woke prisoners in small batches, a stealthy sleepover with a twist, sneaking out under cover of darkness, not for a midnight snack, but for a taste of freedom. It was a well-oiled machine, each step carefully choreographed to avoid the prying eyes of guards and the chaos of mass exodus. While security forces did manage to snag some of the escapees, the bulk of them vanished into thin air. It's like playing hide and seek, but the stakes are a wee bit higher. This escape didn't just pinch a hole in the prison wall, it punched a gaping hole in the reputation of Afghan authorities. Talk about an escape that left a mark. Number 2. Réau Prison Escape 2018. Réau Prison, near Paris, not exactly the city of love for Redoine, Faid, a gangster who apparently fancied himself a bit of a Hollywood star. In 2018, he decided the prison life was too bland for his taste. Cue the dramatic music and enter his accomplices. Probably not wearing capes, but definitely playing the part of action heroes or villains, depending on your perspective. These guys didn't just break him out, they turned it into a blockbuster scene. They hijacked a helicopter, because, of course, cars are so blasé, and landed it on the prison courtyard, an area so conveniently lacking anti-aircraft netting, it's almost like they rolled out the red carpet for them. With smoke bombs, tear gas, and power saw in hand, they cut through the prison's defenses like a hot knife through butter. As Faid made his grand exit, he saluted the prison, not your average wave of goodbye, but more like a catch me if you can gesture, oozing the charm of a classic movie villain. But alas, every good movie has its end. 3 months later, Faid's freedom was cut short. Much like his dramatic escape, his life now fodder for the silver screen. Inspired a biopic by none other than director Pierre Morel. You couldn't make this stuff up. Oh wait, they did. Number 3. Richard Lee McNair, 2006. Let's talk about Richard Lee McNair. This guy could have been a magician with the way he turned a mundane prison job into a grand escape act. Repairing mailbags? More like preparing a master plan. In a stroke of genius, or perhaps sheer audacity, McNair built himself a cozy little hideaway amongst the mailbags on a forklift. Talk about special delivery! As he made his great escape from a maximum security prison in Louisiana, you'd think he was just out for a casual stroll, not busting out of the big house. But the real showstopper was his encounter with a police officer. Picture McNair. No ID, nothing to his name, but his wits. He spins a tale so convincing that the officer ends up scratching his head, probably wondering if he just skipped his morning coffee. McNair, playing it cooler than a cucumber in an icebox, just waltzed away from what could have been a swift return to his not-so-comfy cell. This escape wasn't just a breakout, it was a performance with McNair in the starring role of the cunning escape artist. Ugh, Houdini couldn't have been more proud. Number 4. Joaquin Guzman, El Chapo. If you thought escaping from prison was hard, Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo, must have missed that memo. This notorious drug lord turned escaping into an art form, and not just any old art. We're talking Banksy level of infamy here. His first act, a daring escape from Puente Grande prison, cozied up in a laundry cart. Talk about a clean getaway, right? But wait, it gets better. El Chapo's pièce de résistance was his Houdini-like vanishing act from Altiplano Federal Prison. This wasn't just any escape. It was the grand finale of an escape artist's career. He slipped into a tunnel dug by his faithful cartel minions, leading right to a house outside the prison. You could almost imagine the guards' faces, wondering if El Chapo had turned into a ghost. These escapades weren't just breaking news, they were the stuff that legends and probably a few Netflix series are made of. El Chapo's ability to give the authorities the slip not once but multiple times turned him into a figure straight out of a crime thriller. It was like he was playing a game of cat and mouse, except El Chapo was both the cat and the mouse. Number 5. Richard Matt and David Sweat, 2015. In the world of prison breaks, Richard Matt and David Sweat turned the Clinton Correctional Facility into their personal escape room. These guys weren't just inmates, they were the Houdini duo of the modern prison system. Forget about digging with spoons. These guys went full-on DIY renovation mode. They played the long game, buttering up the prison staff probably with their best "we're just humble prisoners" act. And the prize? A delightful collection of hacksaws and chisels. It'd be like convincing your jailer to hand over the keys, but with a whole lot of extra steps. Over time, they turned their cell walls and a steam pipe into Swiss cheese, carving out their secret highway to freedom. The grand finale, popping out of a manhole outside of the prison walls like some sort of twisted jack-in-the-box. The sheer audacity of their plan and the nerve to carry it out is like something out of a Prison Break movie, with Matt and Sweat starring as the crafty lead duo. Their escape wasn't just bold, it was a masterclass in manipulation and determination. Number 6. Redoine Faid. 2018. The French gangster with a flair for the dramatic really knows how to make an exit or two. Serving a 25-year sentence for a 2010 robbery gone wrong, he first turned the Sequedin prison into his personal action movie set in April 2013. His escape tools? A bunch of explosives to blast through 5 prison doors. It was like he was reenacting a movie from Mission Impossible, but with real explosions. And let's not forget the hostages, because why make a simple escape when you could just add a bit of hostage drama to the mix? He was recaptured, but Faid was just setting the stage for his next act. Fast forward to July 2018, Faid decided to up the ante. This time, he orchestrated a helicopter escape straight out of a blockbuster film. 3 masked accomplices hijacked a helicopter, swooping into the Réau prison courtyard like a scene from a heist flick, and then they smoothly transitioned to a car, which they conveniently left in flames at a shopping mall. Talk about leaving in style, before switching to a white van. 3 months later, his run came to an end, but not before he gave the French police a run for their money. His escapades were more than just prison breaks. They were meticulously planned adventures, proving that sometimes life can indeed imitate art, or at least action movies. Number 7. Clarence Anglin, John Anglin, and Frank Morris 1962. Enter the scene, Alcatraz Penitentiary, the fortress that boasted being escape-proof. But Clarence Anglin, John Anglin, and Frank Morris clearly didn't get that memo. These 3 should have been nicknamed the Craftsmen for their ingenuity in turning a seemingly impossible feat into reality. They spent months not just biding their time but turning their cells into a DIY escape workshop. First, they transformed ventilation ducts not into modern art but into their secret passage to freedom. Then, in a twist that would make MacGyver proud, they crafted a makeshift raft from raincoats, because why not add a bit of nautical adventure to their escape plan? But the cherry on top, those fake heads in their beds. Talk about a sleeping decoy. It was like they were saying, yeah, you can count our fake heads while we make our real heads count. And just like that, they vanished into the misty night of San Francisco Bay, leaving behind a tale shrouded in mystery, and their fate lost in the pages of history, sparking debates, theories, and perhaps inspiring a few conspiracy buffs. This wasn't just an escape, it was a legendary act that turned Alcatraz's escape-proof claim into a myth. Number 8. Frank Abagnale Jr. 1970s. Frank Abagnale Jr., the poster boy of forgery and impersonation, turned a prison stay into a masterclass of deception. This guy could have sold ice to Eskimos and he would have made a killing at it, but instead he sold himself as a prison inspector. How, you ask? Well, he capitalized on a bureaucratic blunder, the kind that makes you wonder if the prison was running on coffee or just stupidity. Abagnale, spotting the golden opportunity in missing paperwork, went full on catch me if you can. He whipped up some fake credentials, probably with a dash of charm and a sprinkle of audacity. And who helped him in this culinary art of deception? An accomplice, of course, because every master chef needs a sous chef. And then came the pièce de résistance, persuading the guards. Imagine this, Abagnale, armed with nothing but his fake ID and sheer nerve, convincing the guards he needed to step out to meet his FBI partner. And just like that, he slipped away, probably leaving the guards scratching their heads long after he vanished. And this escape wasn't just about breaking out, it was performance. And in the theater of prison escapes, Frank Abagnale Jr. played the lead role to perfection. If you enjoyed this thrilling journey through daring escapes, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe keep a closer eye on your partner, lest they get inspired to make a great escape of their own.